Welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. Today is it's the morning. It's like 9:30 on Monday the 17th, and we have a new moon today. So, um, a lot of folks use like the same school of astrology. A lot of folks just use like tropical astrology. So for me personally, I discovered something called sidereal astrology a few years ago. And just to me, like it makes a lot more sense. It resonates a lot more with me. It's more accurate to like the actual size of the constellation and the actual placement in the sky. So, like, um, for example, just like when you look up at the sky, from various parts of the world, you can, see the planets and the constellations, and you can clearly see that, like, right now, the sun is in the constellation of Cancer, right? Um, yeah, so like I could get like super, super into that and start talking about all that, but I just wanted to give a little preface of that. Like when I'm talking about like astrology or things like that on my channel, I'm 100% of the time always referring to sidereal astrology, so it might be confusing or it might not be like in alignment fully with what you know to be happening currently with tropical astrology. But yeah, it's a different school of astrology, or like a different thought. There's many different kinds. They also have Vedic astrology, for like more Eastern philosophy. So yeah, some people like just get like up in arms and angry and like want to fight you about that, and you're just like, okay, like, some people just choose to study the sky like as it naturally is and as it naturally looks, instead of just going off of these 12 like seasons that were, randomly set in the sky. Because it's going to really offend people, because there's like a whole thing behind astrology. But anyways, I'm not going to get into all of that. That's not what this is about. That's just to like preface, so that the things that I say, it makes sense if it doesn't make sense, basically. But right now, currently, so like yesterday, for instance, I would say like yesterday in the middle of the night, the sun started shifting into Cancer. So you might start to feel it, start to feel super emotional. So yeah, the actual sun in the sky like shifted into the constellation of Cancer in the sky. So the sun is currently transiting through that constellation physically, and it's right now currently like right in like the first few degrees there. And the sun currently is moving out of Gemini and is right on the cusp of Cancer and Gemini, and is like about to shift into Cancer, and then really quickly by like 11 or noon mountain time where I am here, they'll be in conjunction in the early degrees of Cancer. And then yeah, we'll have a new moon in Cancer, so you may be really feeling it. For me, like this school of astrology resonates a lot more. I see more parallels in real life. So yeah, like if you're starting to, yeah, the past few days, if you're feeling really emotional, everything's kind of just hitting you and you can't see like where it's coming from, or you can't see why, or you're so confused like where all of these emotions are coming from. It's like everything that you kind of like buried deep down and had like a protection over and you weren't really dealing with could be just like bubbling up right now. And um yeah, the stuff you tried to like push down and bury could be kind of getting illuminated, and a lot of different like emotions and feelings could be happening. It could be kind of like getting illuminated in your life, but it's like you just can't see it, right? There's this level of just like, why is this happening? Like, what's going on? So, we're just going to look into what is around you currently with the new moon in Cancer. And then we'll get like a few oracle cards. And then, yeah, just whatever I feel called. And yeah, last night I made like a pick a card of what do you need to see right now for the full moon. So I'll have that linked in the description box if you're curious about that. And I'll have the website that I use to like see the sky, if you will. It's called Mastering the Zodiac, and I'll have the website linked in the description box down below if anyone is curious about that. The gentleman who created the website has a lot of like links on there to explain sidereal astrology a little bit better and more in depth if you're curious about that, or if you've like heard of it before but you don't know a lot and you want to know more. That website is a really, really good resource, so I'll link that below. And then, yeah, like I just want to say I do live in an apartment complex, so sometimes there's noise below me, above me, around me, the parking lot. I have a roommate, we have pets. My dog's doing this weird thing where every time my roommate comes out of his room, she just like freaks out and barks at him. So I'm so sorry if there's any like interruptions during this video. I just really wanted to yeah, right when I woke up, I just felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna make a video real quick. Sorry, y'all. So I'm using the Sun and Moon Tarot. Not sure if I said that already. Oh, too many spirit. So we have success, the Six of Pentacles. It like flipped over in the deck, so I went ahead and flipped it over. Ooh, so we have the Five of Cups. So yeah, if it's in regards to like some sort of financial situation or wanting some sort of financial success or financial gain, or it's just like switching things up here, like switching gears, like if you were focusing in one direction or like investing in one direction or like putting all your profits in one direction, it's like having to like switch things up or switch the way you're giving or the direction you're giving to or like how charitable or generous you're being. It's like something in the past something didn't work out in the past, and so now you have to like readjust in order to protect like what you have left. Like, okay, so maybe I'm hearing like you were investing in the wrong thing, or yeah, just putting too much of what you're making into the wrong investment, and then it went wrong here, like it went sour, something fell through, or like some deal you were counting on like fell through, and so now you're like really rethinking what you're going to do with like the remaining profit that you have, or um now moving forward you're going to like funnel your profits into a different it's like you're going to do something different here. You'll like go with a different investor, like you'll give it to someone else to manage it in a different way, or you'll like put it somewhere else. It's like now moving forward you'll like give your money to someone else or to something else because something like didn't work out here or fell apart. It's like you're still successful and you still have some to give. So now you're really rethinking, like, you're trying to like look at what happened here in the past and learn from that, and readjust like how you're allocating your funds in the future, or like yeah, who you're giving to. I just saw this scenario of like going to like giving your money to someone else to invest it instead. It's like whoever you were working with before, or like trading with before, or whoever was helping you before. It's like that didn't work out, something fell apart or fell through, so now you're trying to look at that and think, okay, what's the smartest way to move forward with like what I have left, or like moving forward. I may be making less of a profit now, but I'm gonna like do something else with it in order to protect it here. Yeah, like whatever happened in the past, there was like this deep regret. It's like you could have kind of known that maybe this wasn't a good idea, but you went ahead with like your business advisor, or you went ahead with like someone else's advice here. Um, you gave like someone else more control or something than you knew you should have, or it's like you feel like if you would have like, yeah, like done something yourself, or like had more control over the situation yourself, then you could have like protected yourself more, or this wouldn't have fallen through the way that it did. So like now moving forward, you're like readjusting and rethinking like who you're giving power to or money to, or um it's like mourning like everything that kind of like fell apart here. So someone could have been um like, yeah, if you had like a previous business investor or someone you were giving your money to and trusting them to like invest it or to do something with it, it's like they could have had deceive like shady intentions. They could have deceived you in some way, or been like not fully honest or forthcoming. So it's like your intuition was kind of telling you this might not be the best plan, or maybe I shouldn't put so much into this, or I shouldn't trust in this so much, and then it ended up falling apart, and you were like, oh my gosh, I like it's like your intuition kind of told you this was a bad idea, or that something wasn't right here, something was off, something was out of balance. You just like kind of knew it wasn't going to give back to you in the way that like this person was saying it would, and then once it fell apart, it's just this energy of like you have nobody to blame but yourself. And so now moving forward, you're going to be more um, cautious, or you're really going to try to think through more like who you're giving to, like who you're giving your money to, who, like, where you're giving to, how you're spending your money. It's like trying to learn from the mistake and be more like fiscally responsible moving forward. So yeah, so we have the Ten of Swords and the Magician. So someone deceived you here. Someone kind of like put on a show, or like created an illusion here. It's like smoke and mirrors. It's like it sounded too good to be true. Like you felt like it wasn't right. Something just seemed off here, and it ended up creating a situation here. Like you really got like stabbed in the back, and then now you feel really held down because it's like it could have taken a large chunk of like your money or your investment here, and so now it's like kind of debilitating you from being able to do as much as you could have before. So it's like a huge like stab in the back here. Like this other person was just like, you know, telling you what you wanted to hear, or like not giving you the full picture, like not relying to you like the full process behind like how they were doing something or how something was happening. And so you just saw like it working out on the surface, or like it producing money for others like on the surface, but you didn't see like what was really going on deep down. And then now this is like really affecting you here. Yeah, like as it was all happening, you could have felt like, oh my gosh, this is going to ruin me, or this is ruining me, or like your finances are ruined, or your business is now ruined, or like it's created like a major a major ending. But there's still, it's like you still have some here with the other two of cups. So it's like you either still have some of your investment or a little bit, and it's like you can pull it out and do something different with it, you know, and try and rebuild here. Or it's like you're still making somewhat of a profit in some way, and so it's like you still have something to work with. um but it could feel like you're just over, or like you're just done for, or this is the end, or it's like um also it's like the end of that partnership, like whoever that person was that you were like trusting here. You're like seeing through their games here, and seeing that it was all just kind of like tricks, and it wasn't really like solid advice here, or like it wasn't like, you know, whatever they were doing, it's like they weren't really doing it. Like when a magician cuts someone in half, it's like it's just an illusion, like they're not actually cutting someone in half. So it's like whatever you were like giving to here, whoever you were trusting with your money, or whatever you were investing in some way, it seemed like more than it really was. Like it seemed like all this crazy stuff could happen, or you could do all this stuff, but they weren't really doing that. Like it's just maybe a few people were like presenting that like on their social media, or like at like a seminar or something. And so then everybody like gets into it thinking that that's what's going to happen for them, but then it's like they don't actually know the tricks of the trade in order to do that. And so then most people, it just ends up kind of like falling flat and looking like a dumb joke. But it can actually really like really run and affect people's lives here, right? I'm getting this like MLM thing, right? Like the 1%, like the people that actually know how to like do the whole thing, like they are really successful, and then everyone else sees that and wants to buy in. And then most people are not successful. Like most people lose like all this money because it really doesn't work out for like everybody. It's like you don't actually, they promise all this like crazy outlandish stuff, and like the 99% doesn't end up actually like doing all of that. But it's like they went to some seminar and they saw that like presentation, and it made them think like, oh, you know, I can do that. But these people aren't revealing like their full tricks. They're not revealing like how they're actually really doing this stuff, because they don't really want everybody being successful and making all the money. That's how some people make money, is how is like taking from others, right? And that's just icky, but that's kind of how a lot of stuff works around here, at least in America where I live, right? So it's like now moving forward, you're going to be more smart about like, is this actually going to give back to me? Is this actually a fair investment? Is this actually profitable? Will I truly be able to be successful here? It's like with what you have left, you're going to move forward and be like smarter here. Okay, so there is like this energy also of, okay, so we have the Princess of Cups. Oh no, the Prince of Cups, I'm sorry. And this is like the Knight of Cups energy here. And then the Nine of Pentacles. So there's someone around you here um that like has very like deep passionate feelings for you, and wants to come forward and like present you with something to help you like overcome this here with like the gain. It's like they want to present you with some sort of offer here, And it could be like an emotional offer, like they could have like really strong feelings for you. But then with the Nine of Pentacles, it's like it's also some sort of materialistic gift to help you get like a leg up or to help you regain your independence, or it's like to help you gain back what you lost. Like they're gonna come forward and offer you some sort of assistance or help in some way. But it could be hard to see that because you're like so focused on what didn't work out here. But there's still a chance for success because there's like another person that wants to kind of like come in here and offer you something that's going to really help here. So that's like a big influence that's coming into the situation. But with what's delaying things, we have the Seven of Cups. So, okay, so what I'm getting with this is like you could be so focused on what didn't work out here that you're just trying to, and then also like, yeah, like that it was such a betrayal that it kind of put you in this state of like feeling a little bit traumatized and um, feeling like you have to just like go wild or like okay, so for myself, like especially when I was younger and I struggled a little bit more, um yeah, I'm just hearing to share this too. Like for myself, I have CPTSD. So, and when I was younger I didn't know that, and so I could like go through really really extreme like emotions and stuff. And so when I felt like betrayed or I felt like I couldn't trust someone, or like when something like that actually happened and it validated those, like the things that I was already struggling with, and I would get really triggered. It would cause me to just kind of like all F off in a sense and just be like, okay, I can't trust anybody. So I would like throw myself into situations that weren't good for me. So I would be like drinking and like sleeping with like my friends, and you know what I mean? Just like, I would just like all F off or twist off, like when I would get really, really triggered by others' actions, especially when it was like legit, like whenever it was more just me like pushing people away, I'd be like kind of just like unhinged. But then whenever it was like legitimate, and people would do these like sort of actions that really validate just those really, really, really overwhelming emotions that we can have within. And like, especially during a time like this where we have like a new moon right in the early degrees of the constellation of Cancer, it's like, uh, sometimes it's like, okay, you could like, have a way to like keep those emotions buried or keep those things at bay and just like protect yourself and just keep a shell over yourself so you don't feel as vulnerable, so you don't get triggered as easily. But then every now and then, you'll really trust someone or something will come in that will actually cause like a great loss in your life, or like for me when I was younger, feeling like my life was ruined or my life was over, or and I only say younger because that's whenever I was more unaware of like the mental health issues that I was dealing with. And so it was just like way more overwhelming and powerful for me. Like I'm still really young, but um yeah, I think like lots of people can relate to that. I think lots of people have like certain mental health issues that then they have certain triggers, right? And then when these specific situations come in and happen, um, yeah, it triggers that distrust. Like for me, like I said, when I was younger, if I was going through something that I felt like, okay, this is the end of the world, this is the end of my life, like everyone's judging me, like I'll never be able to come back from this, I'll never be able to recover from this. Um, and then also this like getting so deceived by people too, and like thinking it was like one thing and then finding out like the truth of the situation, and um, having to like realize that and face that as yeah, that would have been so triggering like for me, when I was younger. Any situation where I felt like, oh my gosh, my life is like ruined, yeah, like everybody's gonna like see me like this forever, I'm never gonna be able to come back from this, it would really really trigger all sorts of stuff in me, right? And so then it's like I would throw myself into these really unhealthy situations that weren't good for me. It's like I would go out and party and just like with all of the cups in the water, it's just like just kind of, it's this energy of just like knock everything over, be really carefree, not even worry about the consequences tomorrow, like throw myself into really unhealthy situations and encounters that I knew were like not going to be good, like just getting drunk with my friends and just like doing whatever in the moment. It's just like just like not really caring about like tomorrow, because you feel like, well, everything is like ruined anyways, or like I already messed everything up anyways, so I may as well mess it up more. It's like this self-sabotage energy. um so yeah, I was just sharing all of that to like say, like, I'm never judging anyone when I'm picking up energy, because yeah, I've totally been there. So like what I'm seeing here is this was like a really valid betrayal, and someone really did um disappoint you, but it cut really, really deep here. It was like personal. And so it triggered this sense in you of like, how do I know how to like trust someone moving forward. So there could be like someone who does want to come in and offer you some sort of help or assistance, but now you're in this state of like feeling super triggered and feeling like you can't trust anyone. Like everyone's going to do this to you. It's like I can't be vulnerable. um So yeah, it's like right now, it's like this energy of like throwing yourself into anything that will just like take the edge off, or make yourself feel better. It's like not even one person in particular, or not even like really choosing one thing in particular. It's just like whoever's around you and is like also on the same level as you, and is like also just trying to like, um, yeah, just like take the edge off, or just like forget things for the night, or it's like you don't know how to like sit in your feelings and like feel them and be uncomfortable. So it's like you need some sort of like surface level, lighthearted company, in order to not have to like process through those feelings of like, oh my gosh, that really just happened here. But that is kind of like holding you back, or that's kind of like putting you in this, is keeping you in like the trauma or the state of like feeling triggered or feeling like so hurt here. And so it's like you maybe can't even see this other energy that's around you that like would want to help you, and actually is coming from a really genuine emotional place here. The King of Pentacles. So yeah, this person that wants to come in and help you here could be just like a really, really solid, secure figure within themselves in their own life. And so it's like they have something to give you, or they have some sort of advice to help you get out of this and overcome this. Um, but yeah, maybe it's important for you to go through this process right now of the like, this is how you're going to kind of like detach yourself from it or get over it, is just like I said, just say like all F it, and just throw yourself into like distractions here. um but yeah, there is this like really solid person that's like already got into a place of like security, or they've already built like a foundation for themselves that can carry them, right, and is really trustworthy and reliable here. And they want to like share it with you in some way, or give something to you, or it's like give you a piece of something in order to help you gain like this independence for yourself, or it's like a really genuine, like they just like want to help. So we have the Moon in reverse. So this is like the recommended action for you here. So I'm getting like open up, like be willing to be like open, and yeah, like if you're really, really triggered here, and yeah, this could have been embarrassing, or yeah, whenever we go through a really, really big loss, or something really doesn't work out for us, or we feel like, oh my gosh, my life is ruined, everything's over. there can be this energy of feeling like we can't tell others like how bad it really is, or we can't tell people like what really happened, or but it's like if you really open up and you're really transparent with this other person, then they'll be able to help you better. And they also like want to open up and share their feelings with you as well. And so if you're really closed off here, or you have everything like blocked off, to where nobody can like see inside or like see what's going on with you, or like share in your emotions here, if you're not willing to be vulnerable with others and let them connect with you to like better understand how you feel and what you're going through, then nobody can like really help you, you know, or you're never going to be able to like feel better and overcome all of this. But right now, because of what you went through in the recent past, or even maybe this was just like triggering what you've been through over and over and over, or something you went through a really, really long time ago, and then it just happened again. So you're like, oh my gosh. So in your brain, your logical brain is like, okay, just detach yourself from all like feelings and emotions, and just like involve yourself in things that are surface level where you can still like get a release, or um, have some sort of connection, or like enjoy yourself, but you don't have to like really open up to people, or like trust others, or let others like fully see you, because in your mind you're like, this is how I protect myself, this is how I prevent myself from having to go through another loss, this is how I protect like what I have left here. It's like I only have so much left now, like moving forward, like feel like you have to be like really, really smart. Or now, yeah, it's like now that's putting you in this like energy of being deceiving here. Now it's like you're not being fully upfront and transparent and open with others, because you're so afraid. Like now you're the one that's like kind of like having other situations going on, or like involving yourself in multiple things, and is like not being fully upfront about it here. But it's like a defense mechanism, because in your mind it's like that's how I protect myself from like being hurt again, or from having like this major loss, or from having someone take advantage of me. It's like you feel like you can't trust like what other people say, so you're not going to be open with them either. um, but there are like the genuine people that do want to come in and help you. I'm getting there is like one person in particular, right? That actually does like really care about you here, and actually they do have something that could help you like recover from this, and start to come back here. But you have to be willing to open up to them, to trust them, to be vulnerable with them. If you're not like I said, if you're not fully allowing yourself to connect with others, then it's like they won't see the real you. They won't see like this more genuine part to you. They'll just see you as this like surface level. This they'll just see you as like the way that you're dealing with what you've went through, instead of the truth of who you actually are here. Um, it's just like does a disservice to you, because then you miss out here, like you miss the mark on something. Or it's like, okay, you isolate yourself in your feelings to protect yourself instead of sharing them with others. It's like it feels more safe to just like harbor in within yourself. Another thing I'm hearing is like you maybe only truly ever feel like yourself, or you can maybe only ever truly like feel your emotions. Um, it's like you feel the most like yourself, or you feel the safest to like express your authentic emotions when you're by yourself. And so there's this energy of like when you're around other people, you just have this type of attitude, like just carefree, nothing matters, I don't care. um I'm not worried about the consequences of whatever's going on here. But I'm getting that's just like a trauma response. That's the way that you're like protecting yourself. That's like you feel safe when you're alone. Like you feel safe to be in your emotional state when it's just you by yourself, because then there's like no one else that can like use that against you or like hurt you. Like you just feel like you can't be vulnerable and open to others because you were just like really lied to or deceived here, or you could have tried to be like open and vulnerable to this person, and then they just still continued to like this other person in the past, and they still continued to like put on this show or play these games with you. So if it's like a financial thing, you could have like been really, really open and vulnerable with them about like things that you've overcame or how you were poor in the past or how hard you had to work to get where you are today. And then they still took advantage of you. And so you're like, oh my gosh, and it's unsafe to even open up to people at all. Like I can't even go there. But that was just like a one shady company or one shady person or one, you know what I mean? Like that's not how everyone's going to be, and so you're doing a disservice to yourself to like isolate yourself away forever. Or if it's like a relationship, it's like the more vulnerable you were to this individual, or the more you tried to open up and show them all of that stuff, they were still just like lying to you here, like playing these games or having these like playing these tricks, or they still followed through with like all of this weird stuff. And so then in your mind, you're just like, how could someone still like hurt me after I like opened up and shared so much? And so then now moving forward, you feel like, yeah, you can only have like these surface level, more carefree, like party type of situations. And it's like not safe to like let others in or open up to others or trust others to see you like on that more emotionally vulnerable level. But there's this need to like turn that around here and be willing to like be vulnerable and be open, because there is going to be like someone who is genuine here and sees you for as you are. But if you're not willing to show that side to them or reveal that part of yourself to them, then they're not going to know that it's there, right? And they're also not going to know how to help you. Or it's like if you're vulnerable to them and you're open with them and you let them know like what happened, then they'll be able to like know that there's a need, and so then they'll be able to give you something that you need. But if you choose to just like pretend like you don't care, and yeah, just like act out of like the trauma response of trying to protect yourself, then they'll just be like, okay, that they won't even think anything of it. And then they would never even think to like offer you this. And it's like, this could really help you like overcome this or move forward. But it's like, you have to be willing to be vulnerable again and to open up to others and to like let other people in again. It's like, that's going to be your path through this or out of this here, like with the cones. So we have temperance. So it's like finding a balance again. It's like bringing everything back into balance. It's like this was such an extreme heartache. This was such an extreme betrayal or backstabbing here that it completely threw your equilibrium off. It totally threw you off balance. And like I said, you could have gotten really, really triggered. So a trauma response could have taken over. And so you like threw yourself into this like, I don't even care, carefree, like maybe partying, hanging out with your friends. It's just like not dealing with it, right? Threw yourself into anything to distract you here. Um, but now, through like learning to like open up and trust like this other person coming in again that also wants to open up to you, it's like helping bring a balance and like helping balance out all the different parts of your brain again, right? So you're not in that overwhelming, like triggered response. And then you can see the world more clearly again and realize, like, okay, this isn't the end of the world. I'm not ruined. My life isn't over. Like, I can come back from this. You know, there's still two cups here. It's like, this isn't the end of everything. It is the end of that particular situation, or like trusting in that person or going about things the way you were before. But you could still like recover from this and have a really beautiful life, like with the art. It's like you could still make something really great out of your life or yourself or your business here, or you just have to find a way to kind of like um, with the cups in the water, I'm literally getting like balance out your brain chemistry, like focus on your mental health. Like, yeah, like for me, I was saying, I have CPTSD. So whenever I go through things like this, especially in the past when I was more unaware of it, okay, so what I'm getting is like, okay, so if you're able to open up to someone and share like with another person here, like what's been going on, someone may be able to help you understand like your mental health, or like you may be able to unlock some sort of secret here to like understanding yourself. And so then you understand like, because yeah, with the temperance, it's like taming that inner beast or the inner demon and just like finding a way to like balance it out here, the energies. And so it's like whatever coming out of this trigger here, you'll be able to like get on top of it and find the right tools and the right resources in order to um keep things in balance, right? So it's like you'll make the right connections or seek the right like mental health um like assistance that's going to help you like with this perspective of like, okay, this happened because it, or you know, I went in this direction for a while because I um was so triggered. Okay, there's a reason why. You know, it's like going in and like digging into all of that stuff that you maybe like shoved down and just didn't want to deal with because it was like really really uncomfortable um for a long time. And sometimes, yeah, like there's so many different things that we can struggle with that relate to our emotions, and having a dysregulated emotional system, or not knowing how to regulate our emotions, or not knowing how to process our emotions as they're happening. And so it's like sometimes we just need that little bit of extra help to understand that like the reason why we do certain things is coming from this deeper place. And yes, the things that we just went through are valid, you know, and it does validate like the fears that you have. It is very real. Your feelings are real, your feelings are valid. Everything that's happened um, again is it's valid and it's real, and so you do have a reason to feel this way. It makes sense, and it also makes sense why you want to like react the way that you do and stuff. And so yeah, there's like resources available to you that actually do really care about you, that want to give you, they want to help you like bring things into balance and overcome this here, like with the gain. And like the way that this card is just like so warm, I'm getting this like it's like help you to heal um like yeah, like your brain maybe even yeah, it's like this, it's like balancing out the chemicals here. It's like understanding and realizing where the triggers come from, and understanding that like certain behaviors come from the triggers. So it's like not beating yourself up over that, or like not then letting like that in itself trigger you if you fell back on like old behavioral patterns. Yeah, it's like being able to bring like with having the clarity or the perspective of like um where you're coming from. It's like you can bring everything back into balance and start to create from there. And then yeah, like for myself, now that I understand that I have complex post traumatic disorder, when certain things come up. So now it's like I have a little bit better control over it, because then when certain things come up, like I know, like I was describing before, I'm really self aware that like there's certain particular situations that could happen that will appear a certain way on the outside, or like that will embarrass me or make me feel like my life is over, or I made like a huge mistake, or like, yeah, being deceived by people is a huge trigger. Trusting in people and realizing that I was wrong is a huge trigger. So it's like now that I'm more self aware, I don't necessarily feel the need to like do this anymore, but I understand why I did, right? And so I have that like compassion for myself. And so um, for me, just even understanding, like getting a diagnosis, seeing the like a proper person, getting a diagnosis, and like understanding what was going on with me personally, just like it would kind of helped everything click into place. And then I was like, okay, that's why I reacted like that or did these things. And it just naturally helped me to like stop or feel like I didn't need to do that anymore. And so it really did help me to like bring a balance within myself here. And okay, so for me, the moment that everything kind of turned around for me was whenever I chose to, like, no matter how bad it was or no matter how bad I felt like I could not like let anyone in, is like the moment I chose to truly be vulnerable, and open up and like really truly like let others know what was going on around me. For me, it was like my dad. Um, but it's also because he wasn't like a part of my life, right? He didn't really raise me, so I didn't really know him. We weren't really close, so it was like a big thing for me to like trust him and open up to him, right? And then also like once I got a therapist to help me, it was like actually being transparent and truthful and open with my therapist so that she could truly help me and then truly give me like the proper mental health diagnosis in order to help me move forward, right? It's like we have to be willing to like fully open and share. I had to share everything, even the things that made me look bad or made me feel bad, or um, it's like I had to like to look at everything and kind of like there was so much stuff that I had like buried deep down that I never wanted to like ever like I was like I'm gonna go to the grave with this, you know. And it's like just being um yeah, like choosing to be like courageous enough to just tell someone, you know. And she would like, I would just like write it down in letters and then just like read them to her. And yeah, like being willing to be fully open and transparent about what was actually truly going on, and the way that I felt about myself and stuff, no matter how embarrassing it was, then she was able to truly see me in authentic light and be like, okay, well, this is happening because, you know, you were traumatized by all these situations. And so now your brain has went into this state, right? This, yeah. And for me personally, it was just like this really, really complex trauma that I went through throughout my childhood. It just that's how I protected myself, and so then that's how I, you know, as I got older, it's just how I developed. And so when I was in my adult relationships, I was still responding as if I was like a child, unsafe, you know. And it was really just people who were just being kind of shady to me or just didn't have like good intentions to me, but it would literally trigger me in these huge ways. And then you get cheated on and you go through these situations, or you just have people lie to you or play you or deceive you, and then you go through situations that validate those inner fears that you hang on to or those inner stories that you tell yourself. And then it's like you feel like you know, it's like okay, well, nothing matters, I can't trust anybody. But yeah, the biggest thing that helped me was just being willing to like open up and talk to someone. Yeah, like opening up to my therapist for the first time was like the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my entire life. It was crazy. I know it sounds really weird, like even looking back on it. I'm just sharing this. I'm just really feeling called to share this. So there could be someone who's just like maybe going through this right now in their life. But yeah, I just remember like just like trigger warning TMI. I remember going through like feeling like I would rather die than like be open and tell anyone like the full truth about what was going on with me. So pushing past that and just talking to her and opening up to her and letting her help me, it just made me realize like it doesn't have to be the end, it doesn't have to be over. Like I can still have a really beautiful life after this, and like I can open up and share my truth with other people moving forward, and I can trust people. And it's crazy. It's like once you get on the other side of it and you heal all that stuff and it doesn't feel so dramatic and intense and you have more control over just like all of it, it's like all more of a balance here. Um, you look back on that and you're like, I can't believe that I really thought that that was like the end, or that I would rather just like it be the end than have to like fully open up to someone or be vulnerable with someone. Or it's like sometimes that part of it is just like literally the hardest part. It's like I resisted like talking to someone for years. And then once I did, it was it was crazy how fast like I was able to like change my life and turn my life around and like do all this stuff, and it was crazy. It was like not even normal. And then you look back on it and you're like, you don't even feel like the same person, because when you're in the middle of that trauma response or an overwhelming triggered response, your emotions are so heightened and it's like survival mode. And so you don't have like the full perspective of like the long-term picture of things. So yeah, everything is just like more intense. It's worse if you're going through it as a teenager, but it's similar to, the type of like overwhelming intense rush of hormones that you get as a teenager, where you just feel like this is the end, like this is the end of the world, like um you don't have the perspective to see like your life after you grow up and stuff. And so it's the same when you go through really intense like trauma situations. You don't have this perspective to see like um what your life can be like after recovery, and it is possible. So um let's just get one oracle card. So we have death and knowledge. So I'm going to read both of those for you. Knowledge. Remain teachable. There is new wisdom available to you at this time. This card can signify getting more information before proceeding. It can also signify the presence of an important teacher, or perhaps you are the teacher and it's time to share your knowledge and gifts with the world around you. Drawing this card can also indicate a message from your Akashic records. Seek out more information about the records, or even perhaps how to access your own records for more clarity. So yeah, like with that, I'm getting that's like translating to your own personal records, like the emotions that you store and like bury deep within your body, right? It's like um sometimes we just need a little bit of help, or we just need to talk to someone in order to access those like deeper parts of ourselves. And yeah, sometimes the answer is within us, or the key to like our own healing and how to help ourselves is within us. We just have to like uncover it or unbury it here. And so yeah, like talking to someone that is qualified here to help us can be a really good resource or an option. Death, the noticeable end of a cycle or situation, grieving or mourning a loss in order to heal. It is time to watch the old way leave itself in the past. Allow feelings of grief or sadness to move through you with ease. Meditate on this when you want to honor an ending, a loss, or letting go in your life with grace. Without death, there is no life, and vice versa. So yeah, it could just be like a death of the old way here. It's like the ending of like a cycle here of like getting triggered and isolating yourself and self-sabotaging even more, and not trusting anyone, not letting anyone in, not letting anyone help you. So yeah, you could like, once you come out of this situation, it's like you re-manifest another relationship exactly like that, and you go through the whole process again, because that's like what you keep attracting to yourself, because you're kind of like stuck in a cycle. It's like you're attracting situations into your life that are validating like the things that you're already dealing with inside. And so it's like keeping you stuck in this cycle here. And so yeah, it's like the ending of this here, so that you can start over and um, just have like a new way here. So let's get one more oracle card for you. stuck energy alignment. Your body is requiring energy to work to get back in alignment by balancing your chakras and clearing your auric field. You have stuck energy that can be caused by holding on to pain or having resistance to let new energy flow in. Get grounded and reconnect to your body once again. So, yeah, this is like, could be triggering old pain uh, from the distant past here, like your childhood or something. And so it's an opportunity here, now that this is getting re-triggered and coming up for you again. It's an opportunity to like do the work to like truly clear it out and like truly free yourself from this energy so you can really end the cycle, right? And just like be done with having to go through this old pain over and over and over. It's like you've went through it enough times here, and you're ready to like ascend forward or like move on to the next phase of your life. It's like hanging on to this past pain is no longer serving you, right? So yeah, this is an opportunity to like truly let it go, or like get rid of your old like mindsets here. Soul family strength. Finding your soul family is a blessing that reaps many benefits. You are being asked to reach out and explore to find your soul connections. They will feel familiar, safe, and trusted when you meet them. Send out your intention to connect with your soul family and see who comes your way. Totally. Yeah, that's where there's like these other people, um, or this other person that actually does really, really care about you and have really genuine feelings and intentions that wants to come forward and help you. So there are people that you can trust. It's like, it's just reaching out and finding those people and attracting those people into your life. Yeah, that's all I have for today. So yeah, I'm wishing you a wonderful day on this new moon. By the time you watch this video, it'll probably be like a lot after the new moon, but maybe you'll see it at the perfect time for you to realize, like, okay, that's what was going on with me during the new moon, or whenever you see it is like the perfect timing for you. So, thank you. I hope you have a really, really good day.